See, that's A-level stuff. That's tremendous. I don't know if Mario's going to appreciate that, but you know what? To hell with it. Ask forgiveness later. You know, I wanted to start the day. Rico, are you having fun?
I'm having a great time.
Okay, then. So where do we want to begin today, huh?
Let's have fun.
What do we want to do? We want to do Tucker and Tracy burning each other to the ground? Do we want Big Ten schedules? Do we want Lions injury report? What do you want to do?
Tucker and Tracy burning themselves down does not sound like fun, Mike.
We're out.
Maybe what they said on the phone was, but right now,
we're out.
All right.
So what do you want to start with?
Let's do Big Ten schedule.
Go ahead. It's your world. You got your little mini camera hooked up. You're doing interviews pre-show. He's everywhere, people.
The podcast.
Guy was on Bloomington Radio to start the day today.
Just trying to look as good as you on Caster Ticket.
Thank you.
Make sure you download.
Thank you. Please do. Hey, by the way, Texas is back.
I've heard.
Talk to me. What are we doing with the schedules?
The schedule came out, Mike. The Big Ten, they've listened to the fans, and they're going to give fans for football what you've always wanted. You're going to play tough games. If you're a season ticket holder, you have to be excited knowing you're going to get 9 conference games, and of those 9 conference games, you're going to see some names, you're going to see some teams, you're going to see some big boys, especially if you're a Michigan fan. We're sorry for the last few years of what you had to endure, because for you end up, you're going to go at Washington, but you got USC at home,
Oregon at home, Michigan State at home. You're at Washington, and at Ohio State.
And you're also playing Texas next year. So a little bit of an upgrade from this past year. What's going to happen is, real quick, everybody's going to play 9 games. You're going to play every team at least twice within within a 5-year period. And the language that I love, Mike, they left it open for a possible Big Ten semifinal game before you get to the Big Ten championship. Now, I don't know how they will work that if they reduce it to an 8-game schedule, but they're looking forward to the future. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I love the fact that they came out with this. And if you're a college football fan, I don't see how you can be angry. I don't see how you could dislike this, because it's everything that we asked for. Yeah, you get the TV deals. Yeah, it's a lot of money on the table. Yeah, conferences are breaking up. But you get to enjoy the fruits of this. You get big boy teams. You get to go to new places on the West Coast, playing your trips. I love it. I can't wait. I want to go out to Oregon with you, man.
No.
Me and you, Alston Stadium. Let's do it.
That's if we have a football program. So what do you want from the people? What's the angle? Is this fun, 248? Like, what do you want from the people here? Because I do think, listen, the luster's going to wear off of this because it still doesn't feel right.
Really?
This doesn't feel organic. I still can't look at it and take it seriously with Oregon and USC and UCLA and Washington on my every year schedule. You can laugh. Now, again, I feel like it's a house where they built a beautiful main floor, but the second floor is on dormers. There's no roof. It's not complete. It's like a conference and a half. It's a 1.25.
Just a half.
It's like the super conference is getting there, but the plumber hasn't put the pipes in yet. So it's this weird thrown together thing.
I guess the question for the people, 248-539-9797.
There's Sark. Get him, Sark.
College football is changing, okay? This is what you have as a Big Ten fan. Is this something that will bring you back to loving college football again, knowing you're going to get some West Coast teams, you're going to get some big boy teams at your crib, or you get to go out on the West Coast and play teams? Is this going to bring you back? Is this going to increase your love or rekindle that fire for college football? 248-539-9797.
And let me give you something else. And I didn't realize they were coming out with the schedule today. But for those of you upset with what I said yesterday regarding Michigan State, this schedule right here is why I said it. If you don't think the lines of delineation have been drawn on haves and have-nots, look at that schedule. And I want you to tell me again, State has to play it safe. Tell me again I'm wrong for wanting to hold them to a higher standard. You will get absolutely left in the dust starting next year unless you are all in on NIL, all in on recruiting, all in on competing at this level.
Guys, let me just put it like this. The days of you get 3-4 years to build a team,
Gone.
they're gone. Because you don't. This schedule, 9 games, you can become irrelevant very fast. Where now all of a sudden you're the team that everybody wants to play because you're the new Northwestern.
That's right.
Because
so it's not the same topic. I just
Right,
recall,
no,
I had
no,
to
no,
say
but-
it. I got a bunch of texts last night or friends, and it's like, guys, whether you like what I say or not, I don't care. I care you listen. Maybe what I say, if you don't like it, it still makes you think. It's still a win to me. But I am not going to sit here and let my school off the hook. And these lists that are out there right now, we better be able to do a lot better than this, or we will be nowhere to be found.
You know, I'm just going to say
in the new
this.
Big Ten.
I'm going to say this, and then we'll get back to this topic. But the little nugget you dropped in the pre-show meeting, you should be on the search committee. 248-539-9797. College football fans, Big Ten fans. You got streaming games. You got to go all around. College football world is upside down. But does this help bring your love back to the game? Looking at what the Big Ten is doing for you, giving you teams that you've heard of before, that you don't have to sit there and watch your team go up against Little Sisters of the Poor and then Little Sisters of the Blind the week after. You get name brand teams in your stadium, or you're going on the road to play them. Does this help rekindle the love for college football? Because for a lot of people, last few years, it's hard. Because if you're a traditionalist, man, that's all gone away. It's you driving back to your old neighborhood, and it's all knocked down, and it's a strip mall.
All right, I think it helps the quality. I think it will help watchability. I just wonder what the next step is, because it's hard for me to embrace this because I feel like they're going to be redoing it again in a year or two. They're not at a round number. They haven't finished it. So, yes, we have 4 West Coast teams.
Yeah, but you could take the B1G and turn the G to an 8 now.
Buddy, you flushed the whole thing down the toilet. I like that there's no divisions. I like that we're just going to play. It just still doesn't feel like it's a finished product. And my perspective as a Michigan fan, look, I'm weird as a fan. Like, I'd rather MSU play these tough games and lose them than to not play them at all. If you're a Michigan fan, you've been getting fat and sassy on the Wilford Brimley diabetes schedule, and it's enjoyable because you're winning and you're winning the Big Ten. You don't want tougher games because that could impact the dreamscape you're living in. But if you're like me, you want this. Like, you want to play big games because that's how you make this ascension to being the best program in America. That's how you earn respect. No one is able to question you if you play a schedule like this.
No, because you look at your resume and say, well, we knocked off these top 15 teams, and this one, and this one. Okay, you know what? You belong at the big boy table. And I love the fact, because college football playoffs is expanding, you can still afford to lose a game or two if you lose the right game or two and still make a run for the playoffs. I like that fact, that it's not all about perfection, because I think that's what drove people to the cupcake schedules. You had to stay perfect in order to make the Final Four. Well, now at 12, you could play these games. You could go out, and if you're Michigan, you could lose at UW next year. You're not out of it yet. You still got an opportunity to come back and still get a pretty good seed in the college football playoffs. So 248-539-9797.
Is this thing on? Come on, people. Light it up a little bit. Let's have a good time with this, because it is. It's the new day in the Big Ten, and it's going to have massive impacts. I think it impacts Michigan. It impacts Michigan State in very different ways. But the water's getting deeper.
Yeah.
9-game conference schedule, full integration with the West Coast teams. I don't love it. I understand it. At least it gives me more games to watch or bet on. But realistically, it's not the Big Ten, and it's not finished.
No, but David, you got to be excited to hear next year at home, Michigan State, Minnesota, Northwestern, Oregon, USC, on the road at Washington. And I don't even know what the Texas game is, but let's throw Texas in there because you're playing them. That's your schedule. Your cupcake games, I guess, would be what? At Illinois and at Indiana.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
other than that, every week.
Northwestern at home, cupcake game. But it's a much more exciting schedule than it has been the last few years, having USC, having Oregon, having Washington on there. But I do worry about what this means. I mean, I know the college playoff is expanding to 12, but until I see it, is a 3-loss team ever getting in the playoff?
Yes, because the way
This is you're gonna lose games here.
The way you view college football is going to change next year, where losing is okay because you lost to. Case in point, look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame losing to Ohio State would help them next season because, okay, we have one loss on your schedule. Who was it? Well, it's to Ohio State. They were ranked number 3. Oh, okay. You know what? You're still in the playoffs. Don't worry about it. You lost on the final second of the game. That's good. You played somebody. I'd rather see that team in than a team that played 10 nobodies, but you got a perfect schedule. Well, I don't know. I mean, we do it all the time. I don't know how good this team is going to be until November, until they play this team. This allows you early on in the season, we'll know who's good, who's not, who has work to make up.
248-539-9797. People, don't know what to tell you. This is what we're hitting, so figure it out. We'll get to the lines at 3, but I'm with Rico on this. It's a big story. It matters, and frankly, I think it fixes a lot of the problems with a school like U of M right now, which is you play no one, and it's kind of insulting. So we're going to fix that. 248-539-9797.